Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see what are Angular signals. In short, Angular signals is nothing but a framework to optimize rendering updates. We'll take a look at all the concepts that's applicable in Angular signals with a lot of real-time examples in this video. So it'll be helpful and interesting. Come, let's get started. Before we get started, GitHub repository. This is the place where you get every single code of this demo as well as a lot of repository that is there in my GitHub account. And if you guys are not following me, follow me in this links: LinkedIn, Instagram, and the Twitter and the GitHub. Don't forget to follow me. So let's start with one single thing, right? What are signals? A signal wraps around a value, which can be anything from a simple number or strings to a complex object like arrays or custom data structure. That's it. So we will start with the demo. As we progress the demo, we will teach you every single concepts in the signals. If you take the code in the place where I have given you the link, and if you run the application, you will see the screen. Basically, you will see the screen. This is Angular 17. That's why you see this kind of a UI. And if we navigate to the basics, this is the first demo. All right. So it's very simple demo. Look at this. If I click on this, it is increasing the number. The moment it goes more than 2, it changes to green. It comes less than 0, changes to red, right? It's a very simple thing. Now let's take a look at the code. And this is the component, and the component name is app counter component. All right. So like I said, a value is being wrapped around. That's called signal. So how do we do this? We have a variable called count, and we have used the signal, open the bracket, and then you put something. That something is the data type. So in this case, it's a number. That's why it's a 0. So I'm initiating this count with a 0, and this becomes a signal, right? So that's what we know. Similarly, don't worry about this computer, we'll go there. All right. Similarly, we have another signal. It's a Boolean type, right? Show details. Now what we are doing is, now if you look at the HTML, it's very simple. We have a tag. We are going to call the count here. Okay, so count is the one which will show you the incremental value as in when you change, and once it calls the color as a function, it will return a green or red that will automatically apply to this color. Okay, and then we just have two more methods, increment and decrement, that is calling the respective component method. So what it is doing for increment, see, count is the signal. Because it's a signal, we say dot update, and then we take the current value and we increment it. Similarly, for the count decrement, we take the current value, we decrement it. See, the moment this happens, the count is updated. Now whoever is listening to this count, they are called notification, like the subscribers. Now whoever is listening to this count, or whoever is using this count, or called subscribers kind of thing, so Angular will notify those parties that this value has been changed. In this case, how it works is, because the count is changed, here the value is getting shown as a new value. Okay, so that's how it works. So now what happens is, this count, when you use count of open bracket and close bracket, it's calling the getter function to get the value. It's just called read only value, and then that's called readable signals. All right, now there is another concept called computer signals. Computer signals are nothing but they are the value that is derived from the signals. Okay, they are defined using a derivation function which recalculates the value whenever its dependency changes. And we also have to understand, computer signals are lazy evaluated and memorized, meaning that their value is only recalculated when necessary. In this case, we have a color variable that is decorated with computed signal. So when you say computed, that's a computer signal. So the color becomes a computer signal, which means it is deriving some value based on the existing signals. See, what we are doing is, we are calling a function passing the signal of a count signal we are passing. So if you go inside this, the moment some value is changed for the count, this function is called. once that is called, this will do something and it returns. The moment it recalculates, the color will have some string. It could be a green, it could be a red, and that is what is assigned here, and the color changes automatically. Alright, so don't get confused. It's very simple. It's a simple signal and a computer signal. Computer signals are always derived from the existing signals. Alright, and they are all lazy loaded and memorized, meaning they will change only when the signals which are used in the computer signals are getting changed. Okay, that's it. And then one more concept called effect. Effect is something that whenever a signal is changed, any signal, it could be like you might have some 50 signals, even one signal changes, this effect function gets executed. So this is basically to log and see what's going on, but it is not recommended to log every single time, or I've given you an example here. So effect is the function, and then here this gets called whenever a signal value is changed. Alright, so we learned about signal, computer signals, readable signals, writable signals, and effects and computer signals, right? We almost learned every single thing with a very simple example. Now let's take a look at the second example, mid-level example. Alright, so in this case, we are adding some task and it's getting added here, right? And then if you want to remove, it gets removed here. So let's take a look at this code. Okay, that's the second one. So let's scroll down and we have something called to-do list component. Alright, so in this component, we have something called task as a signal, but see, this is a complex type, right? This is not just a data type, it's an array of string. So we initialize this signal with an empty array, and that's an array of string, that's a type. And then we also are going to update this. So how do we update this? When a new task is called, you see this, when the new add task has been called, a data is coming. If it is not an empty string, which means what they're doing is they are calling the task, which means task is a signal. This will return all the array of string items, and then they also pass the incoming new data to one variable. Now that is an array of complete strings, the existing and the new one, right? That has been using set option, like we can use update or set. We are using set to pass this new value and update the task signal. The difference between set and update is when you use update, you'll be able to take the existing value and compute it and then store it. But for set, you will just directly pass the value that you wanted to set. That's the difference between set and update. But the concept is same. Signal is evaluated and then we are updating it. Similarly, for removing, we filter all the content other than the one which is we're trying to remove it, and then we do a set. Alright, very simple example. And then if you see how the tasks are loaded, task is a signal that is getting computed here. Alright, whenever there's a change, it gets recomputed. So only this part is rendered. So that's the beauty of the signal. It doesn't render all the HTML, it just renders that single part where the data is changed. Okay, so it notes, it keeps tracking of which part of this UI is using the signal, and it updates effectively only those HTML part. Alright, so let's take a look at little more complex stuff. The third one. So what's the third one? Basically, this is a list of product with its price and then the quantity, kind of a shopping cart. Alright, so I'm choosing some product, making some number of quantities and adding it. See, this is $10 or 10 rupees or whatever it is, you can keep it. The price is 10 into 3 is 30. We got it, right? And you see total is here. Now the moment you change something, here the item came, at the same time the total cost changed automatically, 40 plus 30, the total value of the shopping cart. How did we do this? Okay, so in this case we have a cart signal of type, some type, like a product type. You see this, a product array. See, you saw basically you're coming from a very simple example to a complex example. Okay, signal can be of a simple value string or a complex data structure. In this case, this is a type of product, like It's basically, it has a couple of properties. So we are saying it's a product array, and then we are initializing with the array. We have two more signals. One is the total cost. Initially it is 0, and you don't need to worry about this. This is basically, if you expand, it will explain you what all these things. I'll come in a moment. So basically we have two important things, right? Cart and total cost. Both are signals. Now all what we are doing is, whenever we are trying to add an item in the cart, this logic is recalculating the price, and then simply we are using set, calling the existing item, and then we are setting the new product. Okay, so which means cart will have the existing cart item and the new one that you're trying to add. Okay, similarly, as soon as you do this, we are calling a method to update the cost. So if you go inside this, see, it is actually recalculating the cost and setting the total cost computed signal, right? Total cost signal to some value. So once we do these things, the value automatically changes here and here. So in this example, we saw a little more complex stuff. And guys, don't worry, if you expand this, I have explained it every single thing here. So basically, we have a signal, a cart, that tracks the items in the shopping cart. Total cost, it tracks the total cost of the complete item in the cart. And then I've also given you the property, what it is doing, what each method is doing, right? How it is calculated. Every single thing is explained here. So all what you have to understand is, what are signals, how you can make use of signals properly, and then signals is of type write and read, and then signals for reading, always it uses the getter function, and for write there are two important things. You can use either set or update. Update is used to take the existing value of the signal, and then you evaluate, like you do some extra logic to compute the new value. For set, you directly pass the value and it gets sets. Okay, effects are operation that runs whenever one or more signal value changes. They are useful for performing side effects, like you can do logging, updating some external states, or triggering the UI updates. You can do some logic when you feel a signal value is changed and you need to do something, right? So those kind of things, right? Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. This is all about the Angular signals. These days signals are very important, and a lot of projects are getting used. We will apply this signal concepts in upcoming UI videos, so that it will be a much more real-time thing. Even I will try to apply it in the e-commerce web application that we have. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. If you need any specific video, please do let me know. I will see you in the interesting video soon. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tech tutorials. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Happy coding!